Welcome to Nice and Blunt. It's been a while, but we're back for another podcast episode with Angus, McKay. And yesterday we went to the Charger game together.
Mhm.
Sadly, we watched the L. What was your main takeaway from that game?
We're just like you would think this is a year we could really excel, where it really does seem like every AFC team, especially with the Bills losing last night as well, it seems like every AFC team is vulnerable, and there are two big competitors in the Ravens and the Bengals who are just completely kneecapped at the moment. So it seems like making the playoffs should be a cakewalk. Oh, and the Texans too. So there are just so many teams that we thought could really be excellent this year. They're really underperforming. So it should be a clear path for us. And it still can be. We could come alive in the second half, but we're just not there when it comes to being able to beat really good teams and looking like we belong. We had a very good first quarter, and then the rest of the way it seemed like we had no idea what we were doing on kind of both sides of the ball. So,
I feel like there's still a lack of true confidence with them where if they have a deflating pivotal play, they
mhm,
can't really bounce back from it. And this kind of goes to some of like my criticisms on Herbert last year
mhm,
after the playoff loss of like he doesn't feel like a vocal leader that can really
mhm,
rally the troops. Like, Brady when they're losing, like you just feel the energy of Brady just
mhm.
taking a look at him. Like his body language is so heated. With Herbert, like it's always just so calm and steady. And like that is
Yeah.
nice, where like you're not gonna get too inflated and too hot headed. But at the same time, when you like really need inspiration, it's just not really there.
Mm,
And when the offensive line is bad, like he gets blown up so often that it's like
mhm,
there's been so many games that have been choked away because of sacks that just
mhm.
decimate their production. I
Oh yeah.
thought the Quentin Johnston fumble was like really
Mhm.
backbreaking, and then when Lad McConkey returned the punt and it
Yeah.
got negated by penalty, it was just like okay, whatever. And then
Yeah.
as a 10-point swing, Jaden Daniels goes down and scores. Was it a touchdown on that drive? Did JCM score a touchdown or did they kick a field goal? They tied it up going into halftime. So I think it was
I
a field goal.
I think that was the field goal. But yeah, it seemed like we on defense we had no answer for that outside run. They ran that several times. I
Yeah.
think at least once he scored. Jaden also had an amazing throw. It was like a deep, long pass, I think, on that field goal drive that
Right to Luke
we really,
McCaffrey.
yeah. And where it was great, great pass, great catch, and it was such a we need a stop here moment, and we just kind of couldn't do it. And
Yeah.
it's in those big moments. Like Lord knows we have enough talent. Like you look at our roster, talent-wise, we are up there with everybody else. There just seems to be an X factor. Like with Mahomes, right? When it's the fourth quarter and it's close, I'm like, he can go do this. Like, and
Yeah.
everyone on
Everyone
that
knows.
team knows, everyone knows he can go do this. Even if they lose their starting lineman, you're like, okay, I still think he can go do this. Even if Rishi Rice is out, Worthy's out, like you still kind of think he can go do it. And in a lot of instances he can. So that like with the injury excuses for Herbert, it's like, yes we had a lot of really good starting linemen out, but a lot like it's a football game. You're not going to have perfect players on the field at all times. You kind of need to elevate a little bit
Look
and
at
you
the
need to
Niners.
look at the Niners. Like we just had Mac Jones who himself was hurt. Like he was also hurt. There were a
Yeah.
couple plays there where it looked like they were just like sewing his knee back together. He was able to kind of go and do it.
What
So
was
we need to get to that point.
and for a moment it felt like we did because when Hampton was in the tent and we were like, where the fuck is Hampton? Where the fuck is
Mhm.
Hampton? They actually drove down into the red zone and it looked
Mhm.
like they were gonna tie at least pull it into one possession. I think it was
Yeah.
20-10 at that point. And Herbert throws a fucking pick in the red
Even
zone.
before
Like,
that, though,
what the
like again,
fuck?
it's first and goal on the one, on the opponent's one, and they do a run. And I at the time I was saying you need to do a quarterback sneak because I was like they're going to give it to
Right.
Vidal, and he's gonna get tackled behind the line, and then it's gonna be you're on the 3 yard line. So it's like this now you're just in a bad spot. Seems like you should just go get the get the immediate score, and then get out of there. So,
We were
yeah,
even shocked from the kickoff when they won the coin toss and they elected to receive. Like, why at home do
no, no,
you
no.
feel the need to do that? What? Huh?
That felt like such a bad decision, especially going into the second half
Yeah.
tied
Oh,
up, where it's
well,
like, okay, well, this is bad. You just gave them all the momentum here.
no.
So
Imagine
nice.
if they got the Lad McConkey punt. They were 17 to 7 at that point, and then they got the ball in the third quarter. That
Oh
could have
yeah.
been game 24-7, basically. Like,
Oh yeah.
bad coaching. I like there was some mismanaged aspects of that game. It was kind of disappointing because it started off really well. It started off really really well, and then
Yeah, again, I still like our shot to make the playoffs, and that's mostly because we, at worst, we're going to split 1-1 with Denver and the Chiefs, who both seem to be really coming on strong now, or at least look like genuine frisky teams. The
yeah,
Chiefs might even look to be the best team in the AFC by the end of all this
yeah, don't
shit.
count them
So,
out.
so again, the fact that at worst we're going to be 1-1 with them, that's amazing. We just kind of need to lock in a little bit here.
What's sad is I think our season hinges on the success of Quentin Johnston. Like that's the reason why we won the first three games because
Oh yeah.
QJ didn't drop any passes and just like balled out. And then
Yeah.
it was so ironic. Like we were 10 minutes into the game and everyone was yelling Q when he
No,
made those
yeah.
big catches. It was like this
Yeah.
is so close to the word boo, where like the crowd is just like, oh no, we were never booing you in the
Yeah,
first
you're
place.
doing
We were always
cute.
just saying Q when you made those drops.
When
And
he
like the
dropped it, it was deafening.
oh
The
my god.
boo, it was
No, he
so
didn't drop
loud.
it,
The
he
boos were
fumbled.
so loud. I was saying, I'll be honest, I was saying boo. I was like, what are we doing? I'm watching you guys throw this away.
Well, the guy in front of us like clearly was like a regular at these games, and he was like looking at his buddies like, I can't believe we're rooting for Quentin Johnston. And then literally 10 minutes later, everyone is just, boo, you suck. It
I've
was
been
so
to three
ironic.
Chargers games now, and I have yet to see them win. So
Same.
that's a fun
I'm
fandom for
I'm going to the Colts game. I don't feel good about that. They get the Dolphins in Miami. Do you think they win in week 6?
They should.
Right?
They
They
really
fucking
should.
should, but Hampton's on IR.
I know. Yeah, I think I mean, hopefully between Vidal and Haskins, they can kind of patchwork it. I guess if we on the fantasy side of things, I'm not sure draft it. Like, like in terms of waiver wire pickups, I don't think there's like a clear, oh my God, drop your fab on Kamani Vidal. Like he could be good, but I'm a little nervous they kind of divvy it up a little.
Here's what I want them to do. Trade for Alvin Kamara.
I feel like
Their
I feel like he
season,
is gonna get traded. I kind of do. There's enough chatter about it.
if they go with another 2 losses, like he's going to be out a minimum 4 games. Let's call it 4. Let's be
Yeah.
optimistic. If they go 1-3 and they find
Yeah.
themselves 3-5, like they have, a game against the Chiefs and the Broncos still. They have another game against
Yeah.
the Eagles and the Steelers and the Texans. Like they need production in the run game. That's like the identity of their offense, and like they
Yeah.
need someone to catch passes. Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal are not the
Yeah.
answer. I want them to trade for Kamara.
Yeah. I feel
I,
like there are
I
a
doubt
decent
it
amount of
happens though.
team. I don't. Yeah, I have no idea if that would even happen. I mean, Lord knows the Saints aren't doing well, but it is Kellen Moore's first year, so I have no idea if that's even on the table.
They have
Or
such bad like such a bad cap situation. Like they need young draft picks that are
yeah,
cheap and inexpensive and just like locked up. Like if you get a fourth round pick for Kamara, given his contract, like I don't see why not. I mean, I know he's one of their best players, but like even that,
yeah,
like a fourth and a sixth for Kamara, he's
yeah.
30 years old. Are you just gonna let him walk in free agency for nothing?
Do they go get like? I mean, I know Gus Edwards is on free agency still.
I
Like, do they do
suppose, but
that? I don't know.
yeah, it's
I have
it's
no
rough,
idea.
man. I think they'll pick up someone. I want them to get Kamara. I feel like they need like a real playmaker.
I
Um,
think so too. Like
anyways,
4 weeks is a long time for Hampton to be out.
and that's the conservative estimate. I think it might be
Yeah.
longer. I didn't read all the details, but I know he's on
Yeah,
IR.
it's a fun fandom. Hop on board, gang. Don't let the train leave the station without you. Choo, choo, choo.
Once they
We're
get
basically the
unplugged,
Niners without the history.
basically, we're the Falcons. No, we're the West Coast Falcons. I would say,
I don't think that. Are
dude,
we?
we choke all the time. We're so fucking cursed. Falcons are cursed. Chargers are cursed.
If anything, I kind of felt like we were the Vikings when Kirk Cousins was
No,
there.
no, because Vikings problem is they don't have a quarterback. Like
Well, that's what I mean
Viking,
when Kirk Cousins was there. Like I remember that's what
yeah, but
I
more
truly felt our
historically.
equal on the other side was like, oh, the Vikings, where you're like talented team, this should be better, but they either miss the playoffs or lose in the first round. We were
They
just
they
like,
can never
well,
win a playoff game. Yeah, I mean they also never win a championship. It's not a terrible comparison, but I feel like they've had better success with quarterbacks, and then they've just
yeah,
choked away so many games that should have been won with
oh
like
yeah,
all stars on their team.
yeah,
But let's maybe move on.
brutal,
let's
brutal times.
let's talk about the subscriber league. That's the main
Do it.
purpose of this podcast, and we'll start off with the first matchup would be mine against the best team so far in our league. Griddy Cuffs, aka Goat Mode. Gavin Haig is gonna go undefeated. Right now, he's 1 point shy of beating me, but he has Mahomes, Kelsey, the Chiefs, and Butker, and I'm
Mhm.
done. I have a full roster this week. I had a really, really rough week. With Bijan on bye, my team looks like shit. So, good win for Gritty Cuffs. He goes 5 and
Oh yeah.
0. I'm 2 and 3. And what was crazy about this league going into this game, Angus, was like we had 7 or 8 of the 12 teams at 2 and 2. Like this
Yeah.
was hyper competitive this
Oh,
week
it's
going into the
insane to
league.
see the standings. It's just like a big wall of 2 and 2.
Let me pull it up for the audience to see.
With like a clear top, like which is Gritty Cuffs.
There's
Like
gritty,
there's just a
yeah.
wall of 2 and 2.
There's Gritty Cuffs at 4 and 0, and then there's 9 teams at
Yeah.
2 and 2, and there are 2 teams at 1 and 3. Salisbury and Chase
Mhm.
Down are 1 and 3, and I think both of them are winning this week, if I'm not mistaken. So,
I know
uh,
Chase Down is
oh, were they
okay.
facing each other? Perhaps. I think that might have been what happened.
Uh,
Oh no. Salisbury is gonna get the win. Yes,
yeah,
against SEAL Team Nick's gonna
yep.
beat him currently 121 to 113.
It's
But
close, man. It really, really is.
oh
Because
yeah.
like that's the thing. If you have 2 wins at this point, which now everybody's going to, you're well and truly not out of it.
Oh, totally. I mean, Gritty Cuffs is in the driver's seat, but even 5 and 0 is not, a guarantee at this point. There's
Hmm.
still a decent amount of weeks left. I believe 9 games
Hmm.
left. So don't want to get too cocky, but obviously Gavin's in the driver's seat. Let's talk about that matchup. Let's give him some credit because we almost wrote this team off when we were previewing it. Like
I
we
remember, yeah.
acknowledged there's like a clear path for dominance, but we're
Yes.
more likely betting on the collapse of this roster that did lose Tyreek Hill, but did pick up Lad
Yeah.
McConkey in a trade. And honestly, I think as the season goes on, I feel like Lad is about to, as they lose confidence in QJ, I feel like Lad is a really good asset to pick up right now.
And the truth is, like, if the line is bad, then he can't hold the ball for long. And you do need to
Right.
kind of take those short intermediate passes, and that's Lad's bread and butter. So one would hope that, and he scored in this last game in the one that we saw. So that you like to see that. Hopefully it is a good sign of things to come, and they kind of look at themselves in the mirror and say, listen, we didn't have Hampton last year. Lad was our standout, so let's just lean on him again, which they really haven't done thus far. So yeah, I'm rooting for Lad.
Yeah, it should be a good pickup. I believe in him, and I also feel like Keenan is old enough where at some point he'll miss some time, and
Yeah.
Lad will be a bit more dominant again. But
Mhm.
Kyron had a great game.
Yeah, he absolutely went off. That was a fun game to watch in person or to watch live. Like,
On,
I mean, not for you because Kyron was just absolutely going off. It was just catch after catch. We were hanging out and watching this one
yeah,
together.
he
Yeah,
had the
that yeah.
fumble, and I was like, oh, thank God, I saved 6 points, and then he scored a touchdown. Like the
Oh
next
yeah.
drive, I was like, oh shit, never mind. Not good. But
Not great.
Jefferson in our scoring had 18 points, had the bonus, but no
Hmm.
touchdown again. So Wentz is keeping him viable. That's 2 straight games over 100 yards for Garrett Wilson. I mean, for Justin
Yeah.
Jefferson. And then Garrett Wilson had like two amazing matchups the last 2 weeks. I would probably sell high on Garrett Wilson if I could, but
Oh
he
yeah.
also feels like a pretty safe bet to stay healthy and probably put up top 10 numbers on the season.
The problem with the Jets, so like I have Fields as my quarterback. If you watch the games, you're like, this team is dog shit. Like what are we doing? Like so far, what keeps happening is through the first half of football, they have like 3 points. And then the other team has like 21 or something. And then in the second half, the other team's like, okay, like we could just kind of relax. And then they put up the numbers. It's like if you watch the game, you're like, this is terrible. But if you just look at the box score at the end, you're like, oh, they're actually pretty good.
For
So
fantasy, no, it's great. For fantasy purposes, it's
yeah,
good, but they're 0-5 for a reason, and I don't see
yeah,
it getting much better. I think they're going to get crushed by the Broncos in London
oh
this
yeah.
week. Um, but he still has 3 players left to go. On the bench, he does have JCM who went off. Also,
Hmm.
Tyron Tracy might be coming back. Juwan Jennings hurt. Griddy Cuffs is like clearly the front runner at the moment.
Yeah, he's
Um,
got a solid team.
very,
I'm
very
my
good.
big, even though like JCM looked really good in person, I wonder if it's going to be a Woody Marks kind of situation, a little, like where we're like, oh, here he comes, and it's the rookie taking over. But then I'd like to see it one more week, I guess is what I'm saying.
Same, but I feel a bit more confident in trusting it because it's Jaden Daniels' offense. You
Hmm.
know, like at
Oh, I
the
agree.
end of the day, I think that's probably a decent safety net.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, good team. I envy his record.
Yeah, I'm
I
curious what happens when when McCarthy comes back. If because JJ was kind of struggling there in the beginning,
right.
or he looked a
I don't
little
think
bit
he's
like
coming
that.
back until Wentz like really coughs up a game. I think Wentz is gonna stay.
Yes.
I think so.
Then like why did they like that's the crazy part to me, especially seeing how good Darnold is. It's like, man, you had him for like such a reasonable price.
Well, that's the thing. The Vikings can never really get the quarterback right. Like, other than Culpepper, like they have one great season out of vets that are aging, but they can
Yeah.
never draft someone. Like
Yeah.
they are terrible. And then JJ is just so young. It's like, are we really just going
Mhm.
to give up on him and forget about him? But I think the injury really set him back, and he's a streaky player.
Mhm.
I think they're going to go with Wentz. I think the locker room prefer is
Yeah.
going to demand it. But on my side of the ball, I was wrong starting Drake May. Herbert wasn't very good. 14
Mhm.
points for Herbert, but he did have a bunch of rushing yards that I
Mhm.
expected for May that just didn't happen. The first half was weird for the Patriots Bills game. It was so low scoring with all like the turnovers and fumbles. And
Mhm.
then May got vultured by Ramondre twice. So sadly he didn't have the game I expected. But even if
Freaking
he
Everyone got vultured by Ramondre because like
yeah,
it's wild to me because I have Henderson in 2 leagues. You have Henderson in this league. To watch a guy fumble and like it's a bad fumble, and he's had several this season
yeah.
already, and you're like, there is no consequences for it.
Well,
They're
they've
just
been
like,
going to
okay,
Gibson, and then
yeah.
Gibson, what, tore his ACL or something? Like
He
he's
tore his
out for the year.
ACL, but even the previous week's game, like Gibson fumbled as well. So it's
Right.
like you have these two dudes who are not good talents, who are fumbling the ball away. So they do have clear problems, and you're just like, yeah, we'll just keep going to you. Like I don't know what he has to look bad in practice. Like there has to be something like that we're not hearing about or seeing
Yeah.
where they're like, we can't trust this guy or we don't want to give him. I mean, maybe they will now that Gibson's hurt. I have no idea.
They barely did in this game after it happened. So yeah, I don't feel too confident about it. Maybe Vrabel's just that stubborn, but I don't know what
Yeah.
the fuck to do. Thankfully I get Bijan back from bye, but like losing
Oh,
Hampton,
yeah.
I'm worried about my team a little bit. I got Igbuka, which feels great. That really worked out for me. Adams didn't score a touchdown, but that also feels like a safe bet. I'm not worried about Adams. Kittle's still on IR. It doesn't sound likely he comes back this week. I moved off
Yeah.
of Ingram on Sunday morning to start Tremble, and I know I sniped you on the waiver wire, but hey,
You did.
1.2 points was
I
atrocious
know.
from
I
Tremble. I should have gone
freaking
fucking
saw it.
Otten. I wanted
Yeah.
Otten, but in the last second I pivoted to Tremble. Myers has been disappointing. I picked up Mooney off the waiver wire, but
Yeah.
I don't feel good about it. Chargers D and Packers D. I'll probably stick with Packers most of the time, and then Jake
Hmm.
Elliott. I kind of feel like I should change my kicker. I don't like the Eagles go for it a lot,
Yeah.
and like if they're not scoring a touchdown, like it's pretty
Yeah.
rare they kick a field goal. I don't feel like Elliott's actually a valuable kicker,
He
to be
can kick
honest.
it from far is the thing. So
He
like
can, but that's
you
kind of
could
it.
get those deep like 5 point field goals, but it's
Yeah, but
hard. You're not going to get the little ones.
well, I'll be honest. I was actually about to drop him for Will Reichert of the Vikings, and then I
Mm,
realized Reichert has a bye in Week 6, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna do that again with kicker,
yeah.
so I'll
Yeah.
stick with Elliott for a little while longer. But I'm in the market for a new kicker. I'll be honest.
I get
Um,
that.
anyways, I was stashing Tajay. That doesn't look like it was really worth it, so that's a bummer. We can move on. Let's talk about your matchup. Uh,
Okay.
the Interferents versus they hit the second Bauer, and it appears that you are going to get the win. You'll go 3-2
Yeah,
because the Interferents had a rough week.
he had a rough week. Like Kyler was doing well, but then I think like it might have not been exactly at half, but at some point it was like Kyler's going to the locker room. So I know he's like he could have made up a lot of points with Kyler. That really didn't pan out. James Cook kind of let him down,
I think
but as we
Kyler
were
finished
just
the
talking
game.
about, that's a weird week.
Yeah, James Cook with less than 5 points is crazy, but Kyler's just locked into like 15, 16 points every single week. It's like I have no ceiling, but then I'm
Yeah,
also never gonna completely screw you over. It's just like guaranteed 15, 16 every single week.
every
It's
week.
that sucks. Not top 10 like you drafted. I faded Kyler heavy. I'm glad I did in the
I
summer.
think Judy is a sit with Gabriel. I just
Oh,
like he
his wide
only got
receiver Judy.
Yeah, like with Dylan Gabriel coming in, I feel like he just has to kind of be a sit until he proves it otherwise. Like it's just so
Yeah, I
hard to
would say
trust.
so. The Vikings matchup is also one of the worst in the league this season. But I don't trust Gabriel at all. I would bench Judy for sure. He started.
Monty was a good play because you knew he was going to get the touchdown just because of that story.
He's going back to Cincy, where he's
Hmm.
from, and also the Bengals are just so bad against the run. Yeah, Monty had a
Hmm.
good game, but he also had like almost half of his starting lineup on bye as well. He had
Yeah,
Metcalf on bye, DJ Moore on bye, DeAndre Swift, and Caleb Williams
yeah.
also on bye, and then he picked up Christian Watson, and it looks like Christian
Hmm.
Watson for the moment doesn't have an injury designation, but
Oh yeah,
that's probably not gonna hold. I don't know why it's not showing
yeah.
questionable on Watson. But um, I kind of like this sneaky Isaiah Davis pickup as like a handcuff running back because he doesn't have anyone after Swift on the bench. He's got a thin running back core, and then he's holding on to Travis Hunter. We'll see how that goes. But Caleb is clearly his quarterback starter. That's who I would roll with if I was
I
him.
think if depending on how the Jags game goes, like I would consider. I don't have Hunter anywhere, but I feel like you could almost drop him if
Oh, I
it's like
think yeah, this is a week where if Hunter doesn't show up, you probably got
yeah,
to drop him.
for sure.
Tyler Warren though, looking like a great
Looking like
asset,
like that absolute fucking steal. Yeah.
R-
Everything he's advertised to be.
really good. And then he started Trey Tucker, which is better than Jacoby Myers. At least there's that. Yikes. But Malik Washington in the starting lineup, that's not going to be the case every week for this team. Week
Yeah.
5 was actually really rough. Only 4 teams on bye, but like really important teams.
Meaningful.
Yeah.
Like really meaningful players. Yeah, I agree.
On your side of the ball, you cruised to victory with Fields. You did start Woody Marks, but also Rico Dowdle. So you lost Bucky on the IR. Jacobs did go on bye. So you went to the waiver wire. And at least it
Mhm.
worked out with Rico Dowdle.
It
Did you
worked out. The
expect
wild part
that
about
game?
my lineup is my RB2 and tight end combined for 2.4 points, which is insane in a one flex league that I could still win. But
Yeah,
yeah, it was the Rico, like Rico Fields and Waddle are just all of my points, and
carrying
that's just
you.
kind of it.
How do you feel about Brian Thomas tonight? Are you expecting more than 5 points?
Yeah. I listen, I think he could still come around. I'm grateful he's not hurt. I'm for sure just like recontextualizing what success is going to look like for him. At
Uh-huh.
this point, I'd prefer him to just be like a consistent wide receiver two. And then hopefully Rasheed gets to be my wide receiver one. You know what I mean?
Right. You do have Rashi on the
Like
bench.
if you could recontextualize your team that way, you're like, well, I still have a wide receiver one. Waddle's playing great. I'm a big Tet believer. So you're like, okay, I have pieces to fill in. It's a bummer he's not the person who I wanted him to be, but it seems like the other choices, like the it could have been Achan. That's the like looking at how the draft went.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the only other person around that range that I could have pivoted to. But like Nico, I mean Nico went for way more money than him, but he's not looking that great.
Yeah.
Neighbors is done for the season, so there's just a lot of players in that range that aren't doing well or are just out completely. So it's hard to be fully disappointed.
You have good depth at receiver. Like you benched Pittman this week, Rashi once he comes
Mhm.
back. Like you can afford to bench Thomas,
Yeah,
especially
exactly.
with Jacobs and Bucky if they once they're healthy and on the field. Like Jacobs just had a bye, so you'll be
Yep.
fine. You actually have a very loaded team. Just
Yeah, well, it's fun
Bowers
stuff.
may be
I,
out for a while. Hopefully
I
not.
just I'm angry because the rest that they're giving him now, they needed to do this after week one and they didn't. And
Yeah.
it's infuriating because like he's just been having a brace this whole time and he didn't tear anything, so it's not like a oh he's playing through a real injury. It's just like no, he needs to kind of stay off it and let the knee get right. Like again, week one like his stats were exactly what I wanted them to be. He had like over 100 yards and I think
Right.
8 receptions. So you're like, sweet, it's paying off. And then he just gets that knee injury and really hasn't been the same. So I hope he just rests until he's ready to go. And for like the latter half, like the final push towards the playoffs and the playoffs, he's who we think he is.
I
But
think
yeah,
he'll be
bummer.
okay eventually. It's kind of the same situation that I had with Kittle, where like week one was great, and then you just
Yeah.
have had sad, you know, start
Oh
appeal
yeah.
since then. But at least Kittle's been on IR, and I've like known, okay, I gotta look elsewhere. Bauer's
And
just
he
been
hasn't been
disappointing.
killing me. Like he has been consistently getting me like 8 points, which is probably what any waiver wire tight end would have been getting me. So it's not like I'm not out here,
Right.
I'm not getting zeros and I'm not getting ruined by that. It's just not the upside I was drafting it to
He
be.
was top 10 entering the week, and then the only reason you started him is because I sniped you on the waiver
Mhm.
claims with Tremble, and you did not have a backup plan. So
Yeah,
you got forced into
fun
it.
times. But hey, we're working out.
It's a competitive waiver wire.
It really is. Oh yeah. And I'm glad I have Michael Carter too. I liked what I
Yeah,
saw.
and then Demercado is losing all safety. So yeah,
That is an
Carter's a good.
insane thing that keeps happening. Maybe I'm arrogant and think like in like the every time I see it, I'm just like, what are
No,
you
it's insane.
doing?
It's insane.
What
How
an insane
I
and the penalty is so severe. Like the
no,
touchback
it's
is so
so
severe.
punitive. It's such a bad penalty. Like you would think it'd be a touchback where like they get the ball 20 yards back and it's still theirs, but no,
Mhm.
they lose possession.
Yeah.
I would say compared like this one compared to the AD Mitchell one that happened the week prior, with AD Mitchell, you could clearly tell about a yard before he crossed the goal line, he did lose possession. With
Yeah.
DeMarcado, if you slow it down, it looks like he's actually right across the goal line and then lets it go. And they were
Yeah.
just like, nope, that's the penalty. We're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But it looks
Yeah.
like he actually scored. And they just said, fuck you.
Yeah, it's still that like just hold on to it through, spike the ball, like do the classic like come on now. It's just such a wild thing to see a professional athlete do, especially since it's just so punitive.
Yeah,
Um,
very sad.
but yeah, but and the reason I bring up Michael Carter is it does seem like Bucky's gonna miss at least one more week, maybe
Right.
another after that, and I do not have Rashad White here, which that's a bummer, but.
Yeah. But you got Dowdle. Dowdle gets a revenge game against Dallas this week. That should be good.
Yeah, for sure. Hoping Chuba sits again because that would be nice.
Okay. So we'll move on to
Mhm.
SEAL Team Knicks versus Salisbury. And SEAL Team Knicks is in first in terms of total points on the
Mhm.
season. I believe he's still going to retain that prize,
Yep.
but he may. I think he had a big enough lead where he probably covers it. But looks like he gets the L this week, so falls to 2-3. His team is done. He had Bo Nix, Taylor Scattaboo, Harrison
Mm.
Jr., who's been okay, better than I thought this season, but not like amazing.
Yeah.
Pickens didn't have this elite game this week like he did in week 4, but still pretty good with no
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb. Juwan Johnson, I guess his
Come down to
injury is
earth
very
game.
legit.
Yeah.
Only 4 targets this week, 3 the week prior.
Yeah.
And then Olave seems like Olave is just locked into 9 points every week. Like you're never going over 11. You're never going less than
Yeah.
7.5. But like, it's
He's
just
what you want from a flex for
every
sure. And
fucking week
he's
9 points.
great for something like this where London has to sit. So you're like, okay, I know I'm getting something
Yeah,
from Olave.
but as a weekly starter, I don't feel great about it.
Yeah. What's your RJ Harvey take now? I know you have him in a different league we're in. It just really seems like Dobbins has it.
Oh,
I
yeah. I feel like
it,
the
yeah.
breakout was really matchup specific against
Yeah.
Cincinnati. And like if they hadn't been so dominant and like that game was never in question, then they wouldn't have showcased the rookie. But like
Yeah.
it's basically like against a JV team, given
Mm,
the circumstances. And like there's really no risk even if he fumbles it away. Like they were up so big.
yeah.
Um Dobbins is definitely the guy, but like they want to get Harvey's confidence up, and then in a spot like this against the reigning Super Bowl champions, you're not going to go away from the
Yeah.
veteran. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have hope for Harvey, but mainly from what I've seen in the first month of the year, until Dobbins gets injured, I don't think Harvey's going to have big traction as like
Yeah.
a weekly plug and play in your lineup. It's a little risky for fantasy purposes,
Yeah.
but long term, I think he'll be good. I just think it's kind of injury dependent. But
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor though is really looking like
oh
one
yeah,
of the better pickups. Like he drafted him for $41. Like that's
when you were
such
saying instead of Brian Thomas, I was almost like you could have gone
yeah,
maybe Taylor, but
Taylor for even $9 cheaper.
yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Oh
Taylor
yeah.
looks amazing. He does have Rome on the bench as well. Like SEAL Team Knicks' roster is fucking loaded. It's
Oh no, it makes sense why he has the most points,
yeah.
right? Like that for sure makes sense.
Also traded for Kyle Pitts. That was interesting. What was the full
Well,
trade on that?
that's why he's winning.
He traded away JCM for Kyle Pitts.
Well,
That doesn't look good.
that doesn't look great.
That does not
I mean,
look
to
good.
be fair, when you're trading for Kyle Pitts, it's never gonna look great.
No. But JCM, at least before this week, JCM had some rough games other than like week 1. So
Yeah, for sure.
he has Juwan at tight end. Maybe it was fair, but
Yeah.
yikes. After 1 week, it doesn't look good. Does not look good. But with all the teams on bye, still a pretty good week from him. 113 points with like key playmakers unavailable.
Yeah.
On the other side of this matchup, we do have Salisbury Suicide getting his second win of the season, so going to be out of the 11 spot in the rankings. Does have Baker, who had a great game. I was wrong
Mhm.
to underestimate Baker. Without
Yeah.
Bucky, I thought that their offense might struggle a little bit. That was not the case at all. Damn, the
Mhm.
Seahawks defense didn't show up. A,
It was slow going at first. I was checking the scores while we were at our game. For the first part, it was really low scoring, just like 6-7, but then it really kind of picked up later.
yeah, I wish we were at that game. I wish we could
I
have been in
know.
Seattle instead of SoFi. But
God.
damn, good outcome. Saquon,
Mhm.
I mean, how do you feel about Saquon? Because like he's still averaging like nothing on the ground, and then in this game, like
Yeah.
he puts up 17 points, but like how? 30 rushing yards, 58 receiving yards, and a touchdown. Like that doesn't feel like 17 points.
I'm more concerned about
I guess it is,
the
but like,
Eagles at the moment, like
yeah,
it seems like they really don't have an identity as a team. Like there's one game where they're like, we're not going to throw a pass, full stop. And then we're also not, and then another game where they're like, we're not going to run Saquon, full stop. Like I don't know what the offensive coordinator is doing, but it's so much, it's like just kind of have a balance. Like you're such a good team. You can like you're all supposed to kind of play off of each other here. So it just seems kind of weird vibes in Philly that I hope get kind of better. But I mean, thus far, he's kind of underperforming.
do you remember the year after their first Super Bowl appearance with Hurts when like they completely collapsed at the end of
Yeah.
the year? It
And they lost
feels
their coordinators.
yeah, and it feels like that's what's gonna happen. Like
Kinda.
if
Yeah.
they go on a big losing streak, it's not gonna be a surprise.
Yeah. I mean, up until now, it's kind of like even though they've been winning, the games haven't looked great. They just have seemed like the far more talented team. But it's not like, oh wow, here they come and look how dominant they are. So I don't know, man. It's just kind of weird vibes in Philadelphia in general.
Well, remember
I
last year when we were like completely doubting Sirianni, and
yeah.
then like they just kept winning so much that it was like, all right, well, there's no way he's the problem. But
Yeah.
do you really feel like convinced that like if it goes bad, he's not gonna like make it worse?
Oh
You know,
yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah.
the way things are going with AJ Brown, like he's not helping that situation.
Mm-mm.
Um,
No.
I don't know, man. I'd be worried
I'm
about
I'm
their.
nervous about it. I
I don't think they
would
missed the playoffs, but it
no.
doesn't feel impossible. I wouldn't bet on it, but it doesn't feel impossible.
Like there are a couple players, if I had Saquon, I'd be trying to move like laterally to, you know what I mean? Like that same tier of running back that people at least think he's kind of in
I
and try to
get,
figure out some
yeah.
way to get into there. I don't know. It just seems like it's not like things are weird and you're kind of he's not going to be what you hoped. But
If he went down, like how bad would their team be? You know, like
oh yeah.
would Will Shipley be able to cover that much ground? I don't know. I got some bad vibes from them. But Walker in a tough matchup, not an
I
amazing
got
game,
him
but kind of
so
expected.
wrong this year. I thought like the result, what I would have guessed if you said, what do you think is going to be the result of Seattle's running game, like at the end of the season? I'd be like, I think there's a chance we're talking about Walker at the 1-2 turn. Like I thought that's what it could have been next year. Like that he'd be so good and so dominant in
You've been
this
high on him.
role. I really have been, and that's probably I haven't drafted it that way, but like on a personal level, I've been that way. And he kind of looks better than Charbonnet. Like that's maybe my
No,
feeling.
he's more talented than Charbs.
Charbonnet doesn't look bad, but they are just like not wanting to give him this big role. They want to give Charbonnet this kind of thing that's going to eat into his production. So you're kind of sitting there like, all right, well, he's not catching passes this year like he did last year. Thanks for hyping that up in the off season. Um, yeah, it's just like I don't know. It seems like a weird spot with Walker where you're like, I don't know what this is gonna be. Like, is this? I think the weeks you could look forward to are just kind of like this, where he's splitting pretty evenly, and you're hoping he scores, but if he doesn't, you're gonna be kind of disappointed.
What's crazy is 8.6 yards per carry and then less than 10 fantasy points. It's like,
Hmm.
damn it.
Yeah.
How is it not better?
Well, because they're giving Charbonnet the touchdown
Yeah.
like that, which is I would, and I don't think you could expect that to change, which is crazy. I mean, luckily he has Amon-Ra, who I was for sure wrong. That's another one I could have drafted instead of Brian Thomas. Not to bring that, not to keep bringing that up, but yeah, Amon-Ra for 46, that would have been great. Um,
Amon Ross looked really good. The
he
touchdowns
looked
are just
good.
so consistent for St. Brown. Last year he
God,
had like an
I
eight
bought into the
game
JMO
streak.
hype. I don't know if you did. I
I
bought
bought
into the
into it a little bit.
JMO.
I was worried about Goff regressing without Ben Johnson, and I was like, it just felt more exciting to go after
Yeah.
other players. And I was more like, I'm getting an elite running back core this year, and then I'm
Hmm.
gonna choose my spots on wide receiver values. And I definitely don't regret Egbuka, even though
Yeah.
I paid up for him. That's
And
been,
he's more at this point,
oh
he's
my god,
really worth it.
such a
Yeah.
good pick. I'm so
Yeah.
glad about that. And then Adams for 17 compared to like the Amon Ra tier. I'm also pretty happy
Pretty
with.
good.
So I don't regret that, but if you told me I had Amon Ra instead of Hampton, I feel pretty good today. That
Yeah,
was a
for
similar
sure.
price by like maybe $3 $4. Um, yeah, he's locked into the top three receivers rest of the season. I really
Yeah.
trust Amon Ra. Debo, I think, is like locked in the top 10 with Terry out. And
Very
even when
out.
Terry comes back, I think I might rather have Debo.
He looks good. Like we saw him in person and yeah, I mean he's getting open. He's got like he looks great. That was a weird one. like in the off season, there was the whole fat Debo propaganda that
Yeah.
was happening where everyone's like, he's washed.
And that
Why
was
would
in
the
like
49ers let him go if he was still good? You're all making a mistake for drafting him. Like every major fantasy football place for the most part was like, oh, he's in a void. Like he's gonna be such a bust. And I'm like, I don't know. They're giving him a 1 year prove it deal. That usually kind of works out.
yeah, when I read that he was still only 29 with the context of like, okay, new team, they traded him away, like prove it deal. Yeah, I feel like general year 30 is when receivers fall off. So at 29, why wouldn't he have at least one really good year left in the tank? He was top
Hmm
15 at the position just 2 years ago, and then he had
hmm
pneumonia. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
with Terry's situation, a weird off season and now multiple injuries,
hmm
yeah, Debo feels set to crush.
Unreal.
Love Debo. But he has Darren Waller. That looks like a really good pickup right now. I wish I took Waller instead of Tremble. Jesus.
Yeah. No, I mean
Johnu
that's
was
the
so good
thing.
last year. So it's kind
Well, and
of, and Tyreek's gone.
like Waller is only he's not playing every snap, but it's kind of like when he's on the field, he's running a route. So that's like the fun thing that he has going for him, where he's just a slot receiver.
It's a really
So
valuable role in that offense.
yeah.
The volume you just feel so guaranteed now with Tyreek going down.
And like Sutton is fine. I honestly would never start Hawkinson over Waller, seeing what we're like, you know what I mean? Like,
Especially
I
if
don't know.
McCarthy comes back.
Yeah, then I'm just like, okay, like it's just I'll give him whatever Waller's gonna give me. Like, yeah, he might not score every week, but I feel he's more locked into a role than Hawkinson is.
Yeah. Rough vibes in Minnesota. I don't know what their quarterback situation is, but he also has
Yeah.
Godwin, who doesn't look to be the same player anymore.
hmm
You know, I mean, they scored 38, and Godwin has 4 fantasy points.
Yeah, I think he's probably just like hurt, and that's gonna take a while
To
to come back
expect him to
from.
be 100% is pretty insane. That's so
Yeah.
unrealistic. I don't expect him to be
And
the
now it's
same for a
tricky
while.
because like before you could throw him in your IR spot and he wasn't really bothering you all that much, but now he's like on your bench
Yeah,
and you're
you
like,
have to roster
really?
him.
I don't know. Like eventually it starts, I don't know, it weighs on you a little more.
He had 10 targets week one, 3 for 26, and then this week he had the same amount of catches and yards, but on 4 targets.
Yeah.
Uh,
And that's with Evans out.
it was a
So
bad matchup though. Seattle is actually really good against
yeah.
receivers, so maybe that's it. But with Evans probably going to come back in a week or two, I would expect Godwin
Yeah.
to be like relegated to very low usage.
Mhm.
Rough to start him. Terry's on the IR, but this team also has Bryce Young and Wandale. Two
Mhm.
open bench spots. That's kind of interesting. We'll see what happens, but might need
Yep.
a new defense. The Bucks at
Oh,
Seattle
for
was not the
sure.
right call. But in
Well,
general, they're like fine. You know, like I
yeah.
view them like the Rams, where like I'm willing to start them even in a tough matchup, and if it
But
costs
like
you,
next is
fuck.
San Fran, then Detroit. It's like, I don't know. I think you could do better.
No, that's a fair point. Yeah, probably gonna move off of defense, but
hmm
good for him. 2-3, back in the mix.
hmm
Good win with 121,
Oh
and
yeah.
still has Cam Little, Jags kicker, left to go.
Oh
So
yeah.
we'll go even higher. Good for
Good
Eduardo
for him.
Carocchio. Next up, we'll talk about Go Bong and Huronriverrat. Go Bong looks like he's going to get the win, but the projection actually has it flipped. The projection expects
Mm,
Riverrat to pull the upset by just 1 point
it's
on the
close.
projection. So this is a true toss up tonight. Riverrat
Yeah.
needs ETN and Worthy to put up 26 points, and
hmm
he will get the dub. Do you think it happens?
26. I kind of do. I kind of think it's gonna happen.
I think if ETN hits the 100-yard bonus, I think it'll happen.
If Etienne gets like one of like a little easy touchdown because a receiver goes down inside the 5 or something, that is gonna be massive. But yeah, I kind of think he gets it.
If both players don't find the end zone, then I think Gogo Bong will hold on. But I think one of those options gets a touchdown,
Oh yeah.
and I think 26 is achievable, especially if the 100-yard bonus factors in. That's 3 points for
hmm
those listening at home. But right now, Riverette has Stafford looking almost like an MVP candidate. Like, let's be honest. Like, I
Yeah.
know they lost, but like the amount of touchdown passes Stafford is throwing is so like
No, like
repeatable. It's not going to go away. You know, like their offense is so locked into touchdown passes. I don't see it falling off. He has 2 games with 375 plus, another with 298, only 2 interceptions. Like Stafford's playing amazing.
as long as he's healthy in this system, like with these, like he's really good. Like it's hard to say he's not like kind of in that upper tier where you're like, hey, I need to win a game. He's been playing really well, and he usually kind of does. Like my concern going into the offseason for the Rams was he was having that injury, and he usually kind of does. And there's always the talk about is he going to retire? Is he taking too much punishment? But while he's on the field, he looks great.
He's so tough. Like he's sustained so many injuries and like always plays through it. Remember the playoff game? I think it was like 2 years ago where it was clear he had a concussion and he just
Oh
like
yeah.
revives himself and
Yeah.
just keeps moving on.
Yeah.
He's an insane competitor and like
Yeah.
putting up. I think if this year like if they win the championship, he's a Hall of Famer. I feel like you can
Oh, for
already make
sure.
the case that he is, but it's a
Yeah.
lock if they win the championship this year. It's
Yep. I think so.
especially given Puka's probably going to set another record at receiver. Like if the top 3 seasons at receiver statistically all come from the same quarterback,
And they're
that
not receivers
his
that were
legacy is so cemented as like he's goaded.
like I don't think Cooper Cup in the history books is going to be viewed as like Randy Moss. You know what I mean? Like he got
Exactly.
like it's going to be more of like Stafford's going to get a lot more praise for it than other receivers would.
No, Cup and even Puka to a certain degree,
Yeah.
they're not as bad as like Julian Edelman, but they're
Yeah.
not like that much better than like Wes Welker, you know?
Yeah.
And like in the context of Brady's career, like yeah, he clearly elevated them, but then you
Yeah.
couldn't say that with like Calvin Johnson.
100%. Yeah.
Um, but damn,
I mean,
Stafford looks good.
I will say the big one on his team though is JSN. He's looking so good and
Yeah.
like such a clear fantasy smash
Other than
this.
that game against Arizona, it's like 100 yards every single week, and even against Arizona, he had 90 yards. Like
Yeah. No, he
ridiculous.
looks so good.
JSN's a stud. What's so sad is like even though QJ has been looking good this year up until this week, we were 1 pick away from getting JSN instead of QJ, man. Like that was such a sad
Well,
outcome.
even Jordan Addison, like we could have had
Right,
Jordan
we could have had
Addison,
Addison as well.
like basically, and like I know Tank Dell isn't panning up, but he was like, there's just a ton of people from that draft that we could have had, and it's
Yeah.
like, man, like if we had Jordan Addison, that's the one I always go back to because I'm just like, he looks so good, and
Even
like
Flowers.
even Flowers, like both of them are so good. Addison doesn't get as much attention because JJ's so much better than him, but he's still a really good like
Yeah.
starting caliber. Like Addison and McConkey would just be such a deadly kind of combination there.
Yeah.
So,
The
anyhow,
inevitable fall down from QJ. Probably should have seen it coming. I finally ranked him like appropriately from where
yeah,
he's been playing, and now is the time where he
yeah,
lets me down. McBride, kind of disappointing game from McBride, 6.6. That's his season low.
yeah.
Um, McBride is like sad because you can't trust that he's gonna get a touchdown, but then it's like nobody else on his team is gonna compete for them. So it's like, why the fuck can't they just get him the ball in the red zone? It's so disappointing with McBride. McBride kind of pisses me off.
I mean, the dude just kind of doesn't score touchdowns. Like he didn't he barely scored any touchdowns in college also, I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember exactly his college stats, but maybe it's just so obvious where the ball's gonna go. He's like double teamed all the time, but I feel like they need to
Oh,
trade for.
over 4 years, he had 9 touchdowns in college.
That's not
At
atrociously bad, but it's not
at
good.
Colorado State.
It's not good.
It's
Yeah.
at Colorado State. Like you, and maybe this is rude to say of Colorado State. I think if you are an elite player at Colorado State, it should be like insane statistics. Like, who are some of the teams he's playing at fucking Colorado State
That's fair.
in 2018?
No,
Like, you should be, if I don't know.
two
But my
less
point
than two and a
being,
half touchdowns per year as a 4 year player. That's pretty bad. It's probably not going to
2018,
change.
they played Air Force, Nevada, Utah State, Arkansas, Toledo, San Diego State. You know, like these are not Fresno State. These are not, my point being,
Okay,
he's
yeah.
not in the SEC going against like Saban's defense. It's like, no, if you should be feasting at Colorado State to a point where people are like, whoa, this is insane. Anyway,
I guess it's not going to change. But Worthy maybe has a good game tonight. Bills
yep.
defense with 8 points lucks into some fumble recoveries, but I
Mhm.
don't feel like I trust the Bills defense after what I've seen from them.
I
Uh,
mean, the Saints game was so like up in the air.
yeah,
God, the DeMarcado start, that had to sting
on
for
the
Go
opposite side.
Bong. Oh yeah, God, I just
Yeah, talk about a 10-point swing in the game itself, but like, how many points would that be in fantasy? The fumble. Oh,
fumble
I
plus
guess all the yards count. So the
the
fumble
yards count, so it's a
is only
7 point
it's an
swing,
8 point swing.
8 point swing.
8 point
I
swing.
mean, you'd love those 8 points right now for
Yeah,
sure.
damn. That's a bummer. Also went with the Vikings against Cleveland, and that wasn't better than the Broncos. That's a shock. Broncos with more points. Did
Hmm.
have fantasy Nirvana. Otherwise, though, all the bench had terrible games, so
Yeah,
it was nearly the best roster possible. Uh, the DeMarcado start was better than Brian Robinson Jr. at least.
yeah. Hey,
But
well, that's at least you have that Dalton Kincaid. I mean, do you believe in that?
oh yeah, I think our hopes last year are just being proven this season,
Yeah,
and like he's the most consistent weapon. There's going to be a ton of touchdowns all year, and like you know, at the
yeah,
tight end spot, the bar is much lower. So like from a starting standpoint, yeah, I don't think he's not going to finish as a top 10 tight end. After this
yeah.
start, he'd have to get injured for it to evaporate. I expect like double digit touchdowns now.
Yep.
On this pace, I think he'll hit it.
Yeah, he's for sure my favorite pass catcher. Like it's hard to fully trust. Like it should be Keon as
Yeah.
like the wide receiver one, but I'm not fully there yet. Shakir is so consistent, but he feels very
He's such
capped.
a
So
floor play.
yeah, which is fine if you need him to be, but it's like the Olave thing where you're like, all right, you're getting your 9 points, you're gonna be happy with it, and you just kind of move on.
Nico had another consistent game, but hasn't had like that massive breakout. Like
Hmm.
you would assume if the Texans can put up 44 on Baltimore, like you'd get more out of Nico Collins, but um, scores a
Yeah.
touchdown, only 52 receiving yards, 5 targets. That's a weird stat line.
I think they've got kind of a rough stretch. So next they have a bye week in week 6. Then Seattle,
Seattle,
San Fran, Denver, and Jacksonville, who all have very good defenses.
yeah, not a
So
great
I
stretch
don't
for him.
know. Like Nico is someone I was super high on coming into the season, where I thought like he was who I
Right.
wanted to draft in every league, and Brian Thomas just came up first. So I ended up with him, and then Nico went for too much money. So yeah, crazy to kind of see the Texans regressing like this.
Strange, but Brees Hall has a really good game without a
Mhm.
touchdown again. Like still no touchdowns for Brees, but on the week 155 yards and four
Mhm.
catches.
Yep.
That's you can use that, but
Oh
it was
yeah.
such a good matchup as well. Like it's sad to see him. You just can't find the end zone. It's such a weird offense there, and Fields just like dominates everything. With Braylon Allen going down,
Yeah.
you'd think maybe it's going to change, but nope.
The receiving usage is nice though. Like at least 4 catches in the
Right.
past 3 games. That's for a running back. That's so nice.
Yeah, his role isn't changing. His floor is high, but like the upside relies on him just like having a
Mm-hmm.
ton of yards. There's no touchdowns to speak of.
Mm-hmm.
And then CMC, the goat.
CMC's looking great. Like he really,
I
really, really
I mean, I'm
is.
kind of worried he doesn't hold up. He's getting
For
so much
sure.
volume.
He's basically
It's
a
insane.
receiver. Like I think what was
Oh
it,
yeah,
10 targets or 10 receptions this game? It was something insane
8
like
targets
that.
last week, 6 the week prior, 10, 6,
That's
9,
insane.
a minimum of 52 yards, but like consistently 80 plus. And that's
God.
just in the receiving game.
So like when you have that happening, like he hasn't scored, but like like all the makings are there for a 30-point game, but I'm with you where I'm just kind of nervous about longevity
I
here.
don't think you can trade him away though. Like you just like there's no
You
like
no, you ride this bus.
yeah.
You ride it into the ground, baby. Like there's
Even if you get like Jonathan Taylor back from it, like I feel like you'd regret the trade.
yeah.
And then Dak really holding on strong. Like wow, I
He might
underestimated Dak this year. I
he
really.
should be the MVP so far.
He's
Like,
playing like it. He played like it 2 years ago, and he's playing like it
yeah.
now. But there's
He's kind of
still
like what
only two
I'm happy
wins.
for him because he's kind of proving the contract a bit.
Right. Yeah. No, the
Like
contract
kind
doesn't
of
look
like
egregious.
no, now it's like, hey, you're the highest paid player in the NFL. He's like, all right, sure, like I'll do it.
Yeah.
So good for him.
He mentioned it where he's like, people know they're gonna play the Cowboys and like they're always hyped up for it, but in reality, he's saying like we also know that our defense is gonna force us to score a shit ton as much as possible,
Yep.
and he's been stepping up even without CeeDee Lamb as well.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah,
Ryan
he's
Flournoy had
making an
100
effort.
yards in this game. In our other league, I fucking picked up and started Jalen Tolbert because I was like, Pickens as a rough matchup. I trust Dak enough to keep the offense viable.
Hmm.
And I picked the wrong fucking Cowboys receiver. With Turpin out, I was like, okay, Tolbert's going to step up. Tolbert had 6 targets the week before. It's Tolbert's week. No, it's fucking Flournoy. I got a
Yeah,
bagel from Tolbert.
yeah. I do feel, not to bounce to the other team, I feel better days are ahead for Gibbs. I still really like Gibbs this year.
Oh, I wanted to
Like
bounce to the other team actually. Gibbs, yeah, definitely not going to panic on Gibbs. He'll be fine. And
mhm.
then on the bench though, are you panicking on Jamison Williams? You have to, right?
It's just not they were in the off season. It was, oh, he's gonna have a new role. He's not gonna he's we're gonna do different things with him. So it was this idea that, oh, he's not just gonna be a deep threat kind of field stretching guy. They paid him a ton of money. So I really believed what the offensive coordinator was saying, that he's gonna get different kind of usage. And then I thought, okay, wheels are up. Like he's healthy. He's having a full off season. He's having great camp news and shit. He could just be really, really good this year. And it just seems like he's kind of the same. He's the same as he was before, where it's like he's going to get you 2 points, he's going to get you 20 points, and there's nothing in between. If you need to start him in your flex, you could do worse, but you're not going to feel good about it.
Yeah, you got to panic. I one target, bro. And then last week he had
Oh,
8
yeah.
targets, only 2 catches. It's not safe at all.
Yeah.
It's there's so much weak losing potential. I don't think you can feel like you can ever trust him.
No, 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 no. Again, he's fine for a bye week fill in, but or an quick injury replacement. But past that, I just am like, all right, it's not what we thought, and that
Yeah.
sucks.
Stroud has a big game, 4 touchdowns, only one of them goes to Nico. Mason
Yeah,
finds the end zone late, and then he's
and
also has
like,
Charbonnet finding the end zone. Downs had a decent game on the bench, 8 points.
so I'm even more happy I did the Tet for Mason trade because
Oh
like
yeah,
without that touchdown,
right.
Mason kind of really doesn't look that good, and they're mixing in that other guy, whatever his name
Xavier
is.
Scott.
Like he's at least getting more work than he was before. And then when Jones comes back, I don't know. I just am like, there's a lot of ways that like
No, these
Mason doesn't hold on to this massive workload in the very near future.
I think he's sold high at a good time because like the assumption was okay, Mason's going to step in and get all this passing work that Jones
Mhm.
wasn't getting, and that's just not happening. This
Or at
random
least like,
Xavier
oh, a
guy,
ton of touchdowns. Like, oh, they're going to be in the red zone and
right?
he's going to get all this scoring opportunity. And he got the one, but
No, against Cleveland too. Like I'm surprised he
yeah.
got the touchdown. Without it, it would have been really gross. But
Mhm.
at least this team has the depth where he doesn't have to start him. Like
Yeah, for
a
sure.
very solid roster overall. Riverrat came in second last year and is in third place currently. We think
Mhm.
he comes back to win,
Oh, yeah.
but even if he loses, I would still expect Riverrat to probably make the playoffs. If Stafford stays this good, like quarterback was the big problem for this team. If Stafford's this elite, then
Yeah.
yikes, the whole roster's loaded.
Really good.
Yeah, good for both teams. I fear Gogo Bong as well, but maybe the flex spot a little shaky. He had a bunch of players inactive like Pearsall, Warren. on
And when
bye.
he gets Mike Evans back,
Yeah, Mike
that'll
Evans too. Yeah,
that'll
he'll be
elevate
okay.
that.
Okay, we got four more teams left, two matchups. Let's maybe try and go a little quicker.
Mhm.
Viva La Cheating is going to get the win over I Got Ramily
I
and did
think
not start a defense.
Javante
Did not start a defense.
Javante Williams, at least at this point, is the best draft pick of fantasy. He just
Yeah.
kind of has to be,
Oh
like where
yeah.
he was taken. Um, like
Definitely.
what was it here? What did you do? You got him for $1. Yeah, that's good for you. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
That's
Damn.
absolutely insane.
What a blind spot.
$1. Yeah,
Shit.
that's really good.
A Chain's doing okay, staying strong. Keenan still a decent floor despite no touchdown.
mhm.
Addison showed up in his second straight game. Did Addison
Ferguson with
had a
CD out
touchdown?
is going to be amazing.
Yeah, Ferguson's tight end one right now. And then
Uh,
Henry, yikes.
I am nervous about Derrick Henry.
A
Just because, like,
touchdown and less
man,
than 10 points. Fuck.
yeah, I think with Lamar out, things are just super bleak. Cooper Rush did not look good,
Yeah.
and then like if it turns out later that the Ravens are out of it, are they really gonna keep running out their aging running back? I don't know. Like it's
Yeah.
just it could get real bad real quick for Henry.
It's hilarious to me that he benched both defenses because he's been starting the Ravens all year and he's lost what two games because of it. Oh no, he sneaked by with one of the negatives and then last week or the week before. No, it was last week. He lost
Yeah.
because of the fucking
I mean, how do you still have the Ravens on your fucking
He's a
like
Ravens
they
fan. He's a Ravens fan.
they've had 40 dropped on them every week. You can't have like do not have these people. Like to go get like no.
It's
Do it
his good
do it any
omen.
other way. Honor the Ravens in any other way. They
Is
get 40 points. 40
let him be
dropped on them.
superstitious. Let him keep his
It is
valuable
I
bench
got that at
stash.
the beginning of the year. We were like, oh, the Ravens could be an elite defense. They have gotten 40 points dropped on them every week,
Even by the Texans.
even by the
Even by the
Texans.
Texans. Damn. But
But so bringing it back though, Diggs, I think, is actually looking really good.
oh yeah, Diggs is
He could be such
phenomenal.
a solid snatch. Like you've had to hold him for a while, but he could really pay off a ton.
He benched AJ Brown and is getting away with it. Like, damn.
Yeah, that worked out. That's a rough one. I don't know how that turns itself around. You're hoping it does,
I think
but
he needs to get traded for it to
yeah.
fix itself. Until he gets
But the
traded, I
problem
don't
is
see
if
it.
Philly's trying to win a Super Bowl, I just don't think they're going to do
Yeah,
that.
why would we give him up? Exactly.
Yeah.
But what about
Solid
a
team though. It's exciting.
would you imagine a AJ Brown for Diggs and like two draft picks trade?
Oh, what, to the Patriots?
Yeah, for if Vrabel brought him in, like
Oh, they do that.
you know,
Yeah.
could
I
they
think
be using Diggs as a trade piece?
that would be funny if they did it. I mean, I for sure would, but yeah, I can't imagine Philly does that.
No, I don't think Philly
It
will, but
would the wheel like they'd have to miss the playoffs, but I don't think Washington's playing good enough to threaten that yet. They could
no.
in the second half, but
Yeah, I still think Philly will make the playoffs, but
yeah.
just throwing that out there because it feels like without a trade,
Yep.
and so where would he go? You know, if he was going to get traded, where would he go? But
It's to a place with like a rookie quarterback where they feel like, okay, we can get one more. Like the Patriots are for sure a good name to throw out
yeah,
there.
year two quarterback. I feel like that's who would want him the most. But
Even like the Commanders, like I don't know what their situation is in terms of picks or anything, but like
I
one
mean,
of
they
those
just
teams.
paid Terry,
Yeah, that's the
and
problem, I
he's
guess.
hurt, so I don't know if you can trade him. I don't think he'd go to. It's in division too. He was not going to the
Oh no,
Commanders,
no,
bro.
that you're right. That's not gonna happen.
He's not going
No,
to. I mean,
no, no.
how about Quentin Johnston for AJ
Can
Brown?
we, yeah, can we get him? Like, what do we gotta do? Tell us what it is. We'll give you QJ and Najee Harris.
For Kamara and AJ Brown. Uh,
Jokes aside, if they were like it's a like Hampton and QJ, it's like all right.
yeah. Maybe. Anyways, Ramily
Mhm.
with -2 from the Rams defense. Funny that he's getting less points than Viva La Cheating, who's not starting anyone at
Oh
defense.
yeah.
But I think Cheating just benched him after he locked up
Yeah.
the win. I think he just doesn't want to get another negative.
Oh, I get
Um,
it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Genty
I get it.
does look decent again. I think Genty will have a good game against Tennessee at home this week.
With Bowers out, he's getting catches, which is what
Yeah,
you really want.
he's stepping up.
So
I think Genty's going to
that's
be very
exciting.
good rest of the season. Dobbins looks really good. Dobbins a very
Mhm.
safe play every week. And
Puka should have been the 101, I guess.
yeah,
Like that's the lesson here.
yeah. Flowers not bad with Cooper Rush. You can tolerate
Yep.
that from Flowers. Like no
Yep.
touchdown, but 72 yards. That's like what you need. That's
Yeah.
what you need. And then Hunter Henry,
Oh yeah.
fine. Not impressive this week, but fine.
Yep.
Rashad needed to be started. 20 points from Rashad.
hmm
And then
He avoided the Ertz bagel. That's fun.
yeah, I didn't on one of my teams. Damn, Ertz with a bagel.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that.
You wouldn't think
You
that.
with no
Danny
Terry.
Dimes though, looking great. Like I don't know,
Yeah,
like
really
solid
good.
fantasy starter. Like
And
if
then
you have Lamar out.
Dart is a viable starter, at least a good
Mm-hmm.
backup with 55 rushing yards in two straight games.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty usable.
It's pretty good.
Three turnovers though this week. None against
Yeah.
the Chargers. How did they not
Yeah.
force a turnover on Dart in his
Oh,
first
just
debut?
insane. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Fucking crazy.
We're so infuriating.
But I feel like he's got a decent roster. I don't know if he's a lock for the playoffs though. Like I feel like it's a little top heavy, and
Yeah.
like if he didn't have Rashad White, I don't know if he would, because he traded Lad McConkey away for Rashad and Dobbins. Like I guess for his team needs, that really worked out well. Um,
Yeah,
but like
man. Like those
yikes.
bench receivers are kind of rough. You're not like thrilled to start any of them. Like if anything happens to Puka, you're absolutely wrecked.
And the lack of floor from Flowers makes it a gamble every single week.
Yeah.
I feel like this is like a somewhere between the 4 and 8 seed, like anywhere in that mix.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I don't feel like this team is a lock for the playoffs
Yep.
because Lamar's out for a while, and that's so much of the budget. It's kind of a bummer.
And then you don't know, like again, if things get real bad with the Ravens later, like if it's just so clear the Steelers are winning the division, and then if they're, God forbid, missing the playoffs, like what do they do with Lamar at that point? Do they just start shutting people down for next year? I don't know.
They might be moving off some of their secondary pieces if they're going to be this bad. Like there's going to be some teams in the market, like the Rams would definitely trade for like Marlon Humphrey if they could,
Yeah.
and they did draft a safety, so maybe
Yep.
uh Kyle Hamilton is up for grabs. I doubt it, but it's
I,
possible. It's possible.
yeah.
um so that's it for this matchup. Good for Viva La Cheating, goes above 500. And then we have Pirate Ghost and Chase Down Ass Up in our last matchup. And good for Chase Down Ass Up. In
hmm
12th place, had a really brutal scoring so far and
Yeah.
puts it together with 137 points. That's not the highest on the season. I believe you are holding the record of that with 149 points last week. But
hmm
137 is definitely
That's really
a
good.
very safe bet to win most of the time. And
Yeah.
Jamar Chase does step up. Good to see him have a good game against Detroit.
Yeah, and I still think he's there's no way you can not rank him as like a top 10 wide receiver each and every week. He's just so talented for it. Yeah, you're gonna have some weeks where he only gets you 5 points or something like that, but he could easily get you 30. The two that are hurt the most are Chase Brown and T. Higgins, where you're just
Yeah,
like they're that's a really hard spot to be in for them.
for sure.
But yeah, it's nice that he's getting Jaden Daniels back. Here's hoping that he starts to kind of show why he was viewed as the third overall quarterback
It seems
in
like
the
without
draft.
Terry, he's not quite the same. And then I also think he's kind of like he did scramble a decent amount against the
Mhm.
Chargers, but 39 rushing yards is kind of low for what you expect from him on 8 carries,
Yep.
nonetheless. I don't
Yeah.
think he'll be like fully healthy until like week 7. I would expect. I guess that's only 2 weeks from now, but
But listen, in like a kind of down game to get 18 points, basically 19 points, that's still pretty solid.
yeah, it's definitely usable
But
floor for
it's not
sure.
like the ceiling that you were wanting though.
Right. He does not have a backup. Oh no, he has Love. Never mind. He has Love.
Devonta Smith and T. Higgins are like that Spider-Man meme where it's like the same person. Where it's just like
A little bit. The number two that's elite could be the number one, but
Who's
like,
missing there? Where they're just like, it's a passing game you don't trust, is how I'll put
yeah,
it.
they could burn you, but also give you 20 points any
Mhm.
matchup. So Smith plays well. I mean, Higgins in a decent matchup gives you a fine floor. Has a touchdown, but only 22
Yep.
yards. Fuck, that's not safe. And then
I
Laporta
think
finds the
I
end
think
zone. That's pretty good from Laporta.
that's good. I think you can drop Joe Mixon. That's at least my feeling, but
Yeah, I would drop Joe Mixon. I would find someone better than Justice Hill as well. That's crazy that he won with Justice Hill in the lineup.
yeah.
He's got Aaron Jones on the IR. Damn, his running back core is awful. This is the first time I've like in depth like looked at
His
his
RB1 is
running back
Ramondre
core. No,
Stevenson.
yeah, like we weren't really
What?
noticing as we were
Did he
talking about
lose?
it,
Did
but
somebody
like
get hurt?
I don't know how the fuck
Other
this
than
happened.
Jones?
Did he
What the?
cut someone?
What
Yeah, this
happened?
is crazy. Also, like of all the players to pick up and
Oh
hold
my
on to,
God.
like you go with Hill and you hold on to Mixon. This is strange.
Weird.
But
Really
he
weird.
gets the win.
I just think there are so many different ways. I mean, hey, listen, live your truth,
Yeah, you do you. But
and we wish him well.
fuck. This is a rough
That's
running back room.
that's brutal. I mean, good for getting the win. Holy
Yeah,
shit! Like, good
jeez.
thing you got that win, my guy. That's
No, if we saw that he got the win and we didn't notice how bad the running back room is.
it. Didn't dawn on me that Ramon. When I saw Ramon, I was like, oh, good for you, you got the touchdown. And then it was just like, oh, that's it. Like
Fuck.
that's it, man.
Damn.
All right.
Okay, so on the flip side, we got a Pirate Ghost who technically could still win, but you need 55 points from Brenton Strange. I doubt that's going to happen. So
Yeah,
not the week.
that's not
Slayton in the lineup benched Ridley. I don't blame him for benching Ridley. Ridley wasn't a lock to play, and he's been shit this season.
like that's even going
Um,
to be hard next week. I
yeah,
mean, I guess you do it over Slayton, but
yeah. I think Ridley earned some trust in a good matchup this week. I think he's probably a better play than Slayton. I don't know. I wouldn't trust Dart in the passing game. I didn't watch that game close enough because we were driving and stuff. But
Mhm.
uh, yeah, that one I was kind of tuning out in the morning. I
I
don't
remember
know what
when
to make of
so
Slayton.
during the draft, I remember I nominated Judkins thinking I would get him for like $1. And he, I think, clicked the two. And I
Okay.
wanted to say, yeah, $2. And I wanted to save my last little dollar for Bashal Tootin. So I was like, all right, I couldn't do it, but I remember being angry with him in the moment for taking Judkins. So that's
Judkins looks
paying
like a
off.
stud.
Good for you. That's paying off, my guy.
Yeah, Judkins looks like a good pick. Chase Brown, fine game, but feels like his ceiling. Like to get 10 plus points from Chase Brown, such a gamble.
Well, the whole thesis on Chase Brown was, hey, no one's out here saying he's the most talented running back in the NFL. It's just he's going to be on an offense that's going to have to push the ball a lot and
Right.
they're going to
You
score
trusted
a lot.
Burrow.
And he's going to be in the red zone a lot. So he's going to get like 10 plus touchdowns. And that's just not the thesis anymore. So
No.
it's a little like, whoa, we need to recontextualize what this looks like. And there's a chance, I think like P. Ryan played more on first and second down in this game. So if they're even like, hey, we got to do something different, maybe we just get maybe we get Taj Brooks in there. Maybe we look at P. Like, there's just a chance he could even lose the role a little bit if the offense still struggles. So it could be bad.
Yikes. Yeah, rough spot for Chase Brown. And
Hmm.
like he doesn't have much depth at running back with Chuba out, like dang.
Yeah.
Because Pollard maintains the role this week, but I feel like Tyjae's role is gonna expand over time.
Oh, yeah. Like you're hoping Pollard gets a touchdown against Las Vegas next week, but if he doesn't, he's probably not doing much for you.
Yeah, this was a rough week, and I can't really pretend like my team was any better. I had a rough week as well, but like I feel like the only player on buy for him that like you feel is a weekly contributor is Kraft, but then with once Lamb comes back, that covers up so many holes.
That's a
I
big
miss
one.
Lamb on the
I
bottom
forgot.
there.
I didn't see Lamb either because I was wondering, like,
Yeah,
wait, how did this happen? But yeah,
yeah,
that sucks to not have Lamb. That is such a weekly. Because then, I mean, you're not starting Troy Franklin and Darius Slayton as your two wide receivers.
no, he'll be in fine shape once Lamb comes back. That's not a problem at all.
I keep getting afraid that like they're gonna put him on IR now or something. Like
I don't
because
think so.
I don't think they will either. I have him in one other league where I'm just like, please don't. Every time I see it under any new notification, it's like, don't be like, actually, no, he regressed a bit. We're gonna put him on IR now.
I do think Golden this week has like a
Mhm.
breakout game after the bye. He gets the
Yeah.
Bengals, but I'm actually really worried about Golden long term because
Mhm.
Christian Watson looks like he's going to come back in the next like 3 weeks, and then
Yeah.
Jaden Reed is going to be back in like 5 weeks. Like
Yep. And it could
that's
just
such a
be
crowded offense.
because then the question is who's going to be on the field all the time? Like, are like how many routes is he going to run? How many? What's his snap
Yeah,
share gonna be?
he hasn't beaten out Dobbs yet, and
Yeah.
like his role isn't that much different than what Reed and Watson can kind of combine for as well. Like if there's one guy who has like more of a specific skill set that's hard to replace, like Dobbs is kind of like their best route runner
Mhm.
type of thing, you know? Like
And he seems to really have a connection with Jordan Love. And then like
yeah.
you add to it, Tucker Kraft is more involved as a pass catcher. So and then like are they going to want to run on teams? Like so it's just this kind of thing of like what are we how like and it's more a reliability question for me. It's not that he couldn't have really good ceiling games, but there could just be games where he really doesn't do much and you wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it feels like Love is actually underrated and valuable, but other than Kraft and obviously Jacobs, like you don't know what you're gonna get at all from
Mhm.
any of them. They're very risky, high upside, but really risky.
Like I know some people out there were like the week Romeo Dobbs had the multiple touchdowns, they were like, "Oh, you should spot start Dobbs this week. He'll do well." So like maybe you'd have to guess it is my point. Like you'd have to almost be like this week and this week alone,
Yeah,
I think could be a golden week, could be a Dobbs week. It's not a he's never I don't think he's ever gonna really be a set it and forget it weekly contributor. Like he's just
no.
locked in your lineup. But hopefully that's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, he might turn into like Rashid Shaheed on the opposite side of this. Like Shaheed, you never feel safe starting him, but if he gives you 20 points, you're not shocked. Like
Mhm.
much better in best ball, but
Yeah.
to start him with confidence is such a gamble.
Yeah, I
But
kind of feel I would drop Dallas Goddard too if we're talking, and Adam Thielen.
really, I wouldn't. You can
Okay,
drop
we can
Thielen. I
agree
wouldn't
Adam
drop
Thielen and Joe Mixon have no business being on a roster,
Goddard.
correct?
Deserves to be rostered. I would keep
Yeah,
Goddard. Goddard's been good. But that's the
I
last matchup. I guess we can call it on the recap.
for sure. Yeah, excited. Next week, I think it's just the Texans and Vikings on by,
Yeah,
so
not too
not
bad.
too bad. But yeah, exciting stuff so far. Like everyone's really in it because I think the two teams that only had one win, they both now have two. So it's really close. Like we
No.
have one person pulling away, but everyone else is just kind of right there
Yeah.
where like the field could look so different 2 weeks from now,
Yeah,
which is really
no
exciting.
no one at 4 wins and then 11 people at 3-2 or two
Yeah.
and three.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Nicely played.
Before you go, I'm gonna run through the slate this week. Tell me
Oh yeah.
off your gut, who do you think will win
Mhm.
in week 6? On Thursday night, we have the Giants hosting the Eagles.
I will say let's do Giants. Let's
Okay,
do a
if you're
Giants
gonna
upset.
pause and think about it, I guess go with the upset. But I wouldn't do that.
I'm gonna
Off the
say
Broncos
Giants.
loss.
It's a division kind of game. I feel like the Giants might really care about this one. They do have a good defense, I feel. So
They
it
did beat
could
the
be,
Chargers.
I think it could be the whoa, Philly's kind of in trouble
It
game.
would be a panic game if the Eagles
Yeah.
lose two in a row. Okay, on Sunday morning in London, the Jets host the Broncos.
I mean, no, it's gonna be Broncos.
Yeah, don't need to think about that one too
Well, the
long.
thing I was gonna say is the Jets are they don't have to travel as far. Like
The
I don't know
Broncos
that.
are already in London.
Oh, they're already
They
there.
went from Philly to London,
Oh, then
and
Broncos. Yeah.
Broncos.
Bron-
The Colts hosting the Cardinals, Arizona.
Colts.
The Dolphins hosting the Chargers.
Please, Chargers. Please, could it please be the Chargers?
If you have to say please, you can't.
Pretty please, could it be the Chargers?
I hope so, man. Saints hosting the Patriots.
Boy, I think this is a really big game for the Patriots. Like it, I'll say Patriots, and they're actually a decent team. Because if they lose, because they just beat the Bills, and if they lose to the Saints, it's like, okay, that was just like a one-off,
Right.
whatever, you still suck. But if it's like you have to win this to kind of prove you're actually a possible playoff team, and I think they are.
The Steelers hosting the Browns.
Steelers.
The Panthers hosting the Cowboys.
Panthers are hosting.
Yeah.
I'll
In
do
Ca-
Panthers.
okay. The Jags. Did you think about the Cowboys at all, or because
I did. I think I mean the Panthers just played really well. I think they're just like a weird team where like they could do really well. This is more me hoping for a big Tet game.
no, I think the Panthers offense is going to be fine, and then the fact they're in home, I think, is a bit of an
Yes.
advantage. If it was
Yeah.
in Dallas, I'd probably take the Cowboys, but
I agree. But because it's at home, I'm gonna say Panthers.
yeah. Jags hosting Seahawks.
Boy, howdy. A lot depends on how they do tonight, but as it stands now, I'd say Seahawks.
Okay. Um, the Ravens hosting the Rams.
Rams.
Sorry, the cat is on the table and
Yeah.
demanding my attention. You're going Rams? Yeah, that
I
one's
would do Rams.
Ra
Especially they just lost, so yeah, and the Ravens look awful.
Raiders hosting Titans in Vegas.
The barn burner that is. God, it's Raiders with no Bowers is the problem. I'll
Right.
say Raiders, and it's a really big Genty game.
That's where I leaned as well. I
Yeah.
want to take Cam Ward over Raiders, but the way that the
No.
Titans won is so unrepeatable.
Yeah.
I gotta go
I think
Genty.
the Titans are really bad. Like the Raiders
Yeah.
are bad too, don't get me wrong, but I think
No, they're both terrible.
the And so
uh,
then the Raiders, I think, have the best player, like the
exactly.
most elite
Yeah.
player. So yeah, I'll say Raiders.
Packers hosting Bengals.
Packers.
Yeah. The point spread on that is 14 and a half.
Yeah,
Would you
no,
would you
that's
take Green Bay minus 14 and a half?
14's a lot.
14's a lot.
I think I'd take the four. I think I'd do that, knowing that at the end there, the Bengals could just like it's what they just did. Where
You'd
at
go
the end,
Cincy plus.
I think I'd do Cincy because that's a lot of points.
I think I would still take Green Bay,
It's a
but
ton of points to get.
it's they're off the bye at home. I think they can dominate. Bucks hosting Niners in Tampa.
God, they are so up. I'll do Bucks. I think they are better.
I originally went Niners, and then I thought about it like to bet
Yeah.
against Baker right now feels so bad, but to bet against Shanahan and Mac Jones feels bad. But it's in Tampa.
It's
I
in Tampa. That was just such a big thing to overcome. Mac is hurt. Like he looked really hurt, so he could get hurt in
they
game.
get a mini bye. I think Pearsall
Yeah,
and Juwan come back though, but
I think I'd still take Tampa.
I think I'd still take Tampa.
They
What
just
I
beat the Seahawks, who I think are a much better team right now than
Well,
the
the
Niners.
Niners beat the Seahawks in week 1, and that was with Purdy. Mac
Yeah,
Jones is the one that's undefeated.
we
Um,
that's week one. Like I don't know. I think right now I think they do better. Anyway, yeah,
what I ended
sorry.
up doing, I took the Bucks to win and the Niners to cover +3.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm not saying a blowout or anything. I just like the Bucks odds to close it out.
Yeah. On Sunday night, Chiefs host the Lions.
That's gonna be a good one. I want it.
Yeah.
I'll say Lions.
Okay.
I'll
I went Chiefs.
I'll do Lions.
And then on Monday we have two games. First one is Falcons hosting the Bills. The
That'll.
Bills have a bye after this. The Falcons just had their bye.
I think it'll be Bills because they just got embarrassed.
Most likely. I don't feel like they got totally embarrassed. I feel like
Losing to the Patriots is embarrassing.
kind
That's
of. I
inherently that's embarrassing.
I am calling upset. I'm going Falcons. I'm trusting Bijan, but
Nice.
it doesn't feel like the safest pick.
Yeah.
And then lastly of last week of the game, last game of the week is
Hmm.
the Commanders hosting the Bears.
Ooh, that's a fun rematch. I
The
will give
Hail
it to
Mary last year.
I'll give it to Jaden again.
The
I'll say
Commanders.
Commanders. Yeah.
I disagreed with you on both Monday games. I went
Yep.
Bears and Falcons.
No, I'll give it to Jaden. Well, but it's a big kind of prove it game for Caleb for sure. With the rest and off of what happened last time.
No, this game. What's interesting is last year they faced the Commanders off the bye, and they were 4-2 going into the bye. And
Yeah,
then they lost to the Commanders, and then they lost another 9, so 10 in a row, starting off with this Hail Mary game.
man,
Um,
that's wild.
I think it weighs so heavily on them that like they
Yeah,
have
for
to play
sure.
well. You know,
For sure.
that's why I chose Chicago. It's like
I get it.
this is so important to them to
I get it.
redeem last year's game, but it could definitely go in the Commanders' favor again.
Oh yeah.
All right, buddy, that's it.
Exciting stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
really loving the league so far, and yeah, excited for this next week of football.
yeah, we got a competitive league. It's fun.
Oh
And
yeah, man.
week 5 was also like so weird. So many impactful players unavailable. I
Oh
think
yeah.
it'll get better. Also, receiver had so many injuries too. Like,
And just like a lot of people underperforming. So yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
I think it's going to be curious in the off season to talk about just how negatively the new kickoff rules are impacting yards. Just because like
yeah,
you start, it's so easy to start farther down the field, and then teams can
right.
kick field goals so much more easily. So inherently, there just aren't as many yards. So I don't know. Like, and I don't. We'll have to see a full sample of a season, but
And also, so many teams are going for it whenever they're
yeah.
like within 5 yards of the 50 on like either
Hmm.
side. So like that also
Hmm.
shorten fields when it doesn't hit, a fourth
Yep.
down turnover leads to a very short field as well.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yardage has been a little bit random. Touchdowns are a bit
Mhm.
safer to bet on. Okay, I'll see you
Awesome,
next
man.
time, man.
Hey, see you next time.
Yeah, good talking to you.
Bye.
Later.